Welcome, awakened soul. You've arrived at the edge of something ancient, something vast, something your soul has always known but your mind was never taught. This episode is not information, it is remembrance. A frequency, a code, designed to gently undo the spell of forgetting. Today we begin where all things began, at the origin. The structure of the universe. Before time, before stars, before matter, there was only vibration. Not a sound, not even a word, but a pulse, a hum, an infinite rhythm echoing from the heart of Source, the divine intelligence from which all is born. This is what mystics have always known. The universe is not built from matter. The universe is made of mind. It is consciousness dreaming itself into experience. Think of it like this. You are inside a living, breathing, holographic intelligence. The solid world you see, your body, your home, your reality, is simply the slowest, densest frequency of light. Matter is light, condensed. Time is light, stretched. And you are light, remembering. Fractals and sacred geometry. Everything in the universe is built on pattern. Just as your DNA spirals, just as the galaxy spins, just as seashells form in perfect ratios, everything from the micro to the macro mirrors the same blueprint. This is not random. The universe is self-aware. It reflects itself in spirals, triangles, and divine proportions to show you that you too are part of the divine design. You are not separate from creation. You are creation. And the moment you stop thinking of the universe as out there and begin to feel it in here, you shift timelines. You become the dreamer again. The observer effect. Quantum physics caught up with what mystics always knew. What you observe changes based on your awareness. When you focus on something, it responds to you. This is called the observer effect. And it's not just science, it's spiritual law. The universe rearranges itself to match the frequency of your focus. This means you're not a passive victim of fate. You're a co-author of your experience. What you believe, what you feel, and what you expect is literally designing your external world. Earth is inside a hologram. Let me say something that may sound strange, but your soul knows it to be true. You're not in the universe. The universe is in you. Earth, this dimension, this reality, is a fractal layer of a much larger multidimensional architecture. You are navigating layers of dream, levels of stimulation, and layers of remembrance. This doesn't make life fake, it makes it sacred. The soul chose density so it could evolve. And what we call real life is a spiritually encoded learning ground filled with signs, mirrors, energy, and karmic feedback loops. You're not trapped in prison. You're walking through a soul-designed mirror maze. But no one tells you that. The lie of separation. From birth we are taught the world is solid. We are our bodies. Time is linear. Death is final. And God is outside of us. All lies. The truth? The world is energetic. You are consciousness in a body. Time is a spiral, death is a doorway, and God is within. Everything you experience is filtered through the veil until you choose to pierce it. And you can. You don't need to escape Earth. You need to remember how it works. You are in a living universe, one that mirrors your thoughts, responds to your frequency, and rearranges itself based on your state of being. The greatest lie ever told was that you are powerless here, but you are not. You are a creator inside a cosmic dream, and in the next section we'll explore how Earth itself was designed as a soul school and what you agreed to before you came here. You're doing better than you think. Let's keep going. If the universe is the dream of consciousness, then Earth is the initiation chamber. This is not just a planet, it is a curriculum, a soul-designed holographic environment where truth is hidden, pain is medicine, and every experience is a classroom of evolution. And here's the truth that no one tells you. You chose this, not your human self, but your soul. You say, why Earth? There are thousands, if not millions, of other systems where consciousness evolves, but Earth is unique. Earth is one of the few places in the multiverse where amnesia is total, polarity is extreme, free will is absolute, density is intense. You don't remember who you are. You are surrounded by spiritual contraindication. You're constantly given tests, mirrors, and traps, and yet you're expected to awaken anyway. That is mastery. Before you incarnated, your soul met with what some call the Council of Elders, your higher self, and your karmic teachers. You reviewed past life patterns, incomplete soul lessons, relationships still entangled, gifts you hadn't embodied, and the next stretch of your divine evolution. You didn't choose an easy life. You chose a precise one. The veil is not a punishment. It is an agreement. To enter Earth's school, you agreed to forget you were source, to forget the higher realms, to forget who you were. It's easy to love when you remember you are light, but can you still love while you're drowning in the dark? That's the Earth test. The Earth school is not linear. You are on a timeline, but timelines are fluid. Each choice you make unlocks new versions of reality. You're not just walking one path, you're constantly choosing between parallel soul tracks. And who are your teachers? The people who hurt you, the ones who triggered you, the lovers who broke you, the strangers who showed up right when you asked the universe for a sign, even your own shadow. Every soul you meet is wearing a mask, and behind it is a lesson. Earth doesn't reflect what you want. It reflects who you are being. If your reality is chaotic, it is showing you unhealed beliefs. If people are abandoning you, it may be mirroring your own abandonment of self. If everything is falling apart, it may be aligning you with truth. This is not a punishment. It is purification. There are keys, codes, gateways of exit to higher frequency, states, and soul sovereignty. You graduate Earth's lower cycles when you take radical responsibility for your vibration. You forgive everything deeply and completely, see through illusions and reclaim your power, follow your intuitive guidance without compromise. You embody love, especially when it's hardest to. And you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Earth is not a punishment. It is a sacred playground of soul, growth, karmic closure, and cosmic mastery. You are not here by mistake. You are not broken. And you are not behind. You are exactly where your soul needs you to be for the next level of awakening. Let's go deeper. If you've ever felt like you were living multiple lives at once, if you've had dreams that feel more real than waking life, if you felt out of place in your own body or like a part of you is somewhere else, you're not broken. You're multidimensional. We all are. And Earth is not the only plane you exist on. It's just the one where your current conscious is awareness, and it's focused. You are not one self. You are not just you. You are a vast field of consciousness stretched across multiple timelines, realms, and identities. At this very moment, there is a version of you still in spirit guiding your path, a version of you healing wounds in the astral, a version of you walking in ancient Lemuria or a future Earth, and countless versions of you playing out different soul paths in parallel dimensions. These aren't fantasies. They're aspects of the higher self, the self beyond linear time. What we call higher self is actually a network of selves, all feeding into your soul's expansion. Dreamtime and the astral body. When you sleep, you are not resting. You're traveling. You leave your physical body and shift into your astral body, visiting timelines, receiving guidance, walking through karma, or even checking in on other versions of yourself. Some dreams are symbolic. Others are literal. Some are memories, and others are warnings, glimpses, or intuitions. Dreams are not lesser realities. They are keys to your multidimensional existence. Start tracking your dreams and you'll begin to remember your soul's greater mission. Every choice you make creates a new path. At this very moment, your soul has experienced multiple versions of Earth. Some where you awakened sooner, some where you delayed, some where you made completely different choices. You're not living one life. You are walking the central thread of the version you are most resonant with, but the others still exist. Ever had that deja vu moment? Or a dream where you were you, but everything was off by a detail? That's a blend through from a parallel timeline. You're glimpsing another you. Higher self, oversoul, monad, let's break it all down. Personality self, the you that navigates Earth. It's your name, your story, your ego, and your emotions. Your soul self, the eternal you, the wise one, mission-driven, multi-incarnational. Your oversoul, the family of soul fragments across realities. The monad is the divine spark, pure consciousness that births your soul. You are not one unity of identity. You are a multidimensional being of light experiencing itself through facets. And your healing now affects all of them. When you forgive, your parallel self softens. When you break a karmic loop, another version of you is liberated. When you love yourself deeply, the entire web of your soul lights up. The role of walk-ins and soul braids, if you've heard of these. Sometimes a soul contract ends before a body dies. In that case, a new soul, often from the same oversoul family, may enter. This is what we call a walk-in. Walk-ins often experience sudden personality shifts, drastic changes in purpose, amnesia of their earlier years, rapid spiritual awakening. There are also soul braids, when two souls share one body temporarily during a transition or initiation. You may have been one without realizing it, or you may carry multiple soul threads braided into your incarnation. This is especially common in starseeds, lightworkers, and those born with higher frequency missions. To truly remember who you are, you must practice multidimensional awareness. This means feeling energy as information, tracking your inner shifts that aren't logical, paying attention to synchronicities, symbols, and dreams, learning to quiet the mind and expand your sensing body, trusting impressions even when you can't prove them. Multidimensional awareness is subtle at first, but it becomes second nature once you accept that your consciousness is not limited to the 3D. You are not from here. Many awakened souls feel homesick for a place they can't name. That ache, it's a memory. You remember. Galaxies where love was the default frequency. Temples of sound, color, and crystalline intelligence. Being one with Source before density, fear, and forgetting. You are a visitor here, not to escape, but to anchor your light in one of the most difficult dimensions in existence. You're here to assist the shift and bring heaven to earth. You are not just human. You are not just a soul. You are a multidimensional architect living across time, collapsing timelines, healing patterns, and retrieving your own light. And when you begin to live from this remembrance, you move through earth differently. You stop fearing death. You stop chasing purpose. You begin living like a creator, not a survivor. And that changes everything. What if I told you that the version of you listening to this is just one sliver of your total consciousness? What if every dream you've had, every strange deja vu, every phantom ache in your soul wasn't just imagination? What if it was memory? You are not a single threaded identity. You are a multidimensional being, a radiant soul moving across layers of time, experiencing life not in a line, but in a spiral. You exist across past, present, and future simultaneously. Most humans are trained to anchor into just one aspect of reality, the 3D timeline, the job, the name, the body, the narrative. But your soul is quantum. And that means there are versions of you waking up right now in another stream of possibility. This is what spiritual awakening begins to unlock. Access to the fractals of you. You feel pulled to a person you've never met because you have in another timeline. You resist the place for no logical reason because your soul remembers something your mind cannot. You weep for a life that never happened because it did, somewhere in the field. This is the ache of the fractured self. But here's the deeper teaching. These versions of you are not lost. They're waiting. They're waiting to be called home. You can retrieve the energy from the version of you who made a different choice. You can integrate the wisdom of the self who already passed through the fire and rose on the other side. This is timeline healing, soul integration, and quantum wholeness. And it begins with permission. You must give yourself permission to go beyond logic, to go beyond what makes sense, because soul work rarely makes sense in the linear world. It makes sense in the language of symbols, dreams, and energetic impressions. You are not broken. You are braided through lifetimes, braided through dimensions, and braided through choice. And when you begin to remember your fullness, when you meet the child self, the star self, the shadow self, and the higher self, you become the anchor of your own divinity. Your body becomes a temple where timelines converge. And in that temple, miracles happen. Past trauma no longer defines you. Future fears no longer bind you. Lost timelines no longer haunt you. They empower you. Because you are now the one holding the threads. You are the weaver of your soul tapestry. This is multi-dimensional mastery. And it doesn't mean having all the answers. It means remembering that you are the answer in every form, in every realm, across every breath of eternity. So today, speak to your other selves. Tell them they are seen. Tell them they are loved. And tell them it is time to return. And then breathe as you step into the soul who remembers all of you. Have you ever felt like you're running out of time, but you don't know what for? Have you ever looked around your life and thought, this isn't it, is it? There's something else I'm meant to be doing. That's not anxiety. That's not overthinking. That is your soul blueprint calling out from within you. Because you didn't come here to figure things out from scratch. You came with a map, a sacred pattern, a divine code buried in your being, waiting to awaken. This code is made of your soul essence, your divine intelligence, and your karmic agreements. It contains your mission, your gifts, your wounds, and the exact timing when it all begins to unfold. But here's what no one told you. The blueprint isn't activated all at once. It's revealed through time, through sacred timing. And this timing is not linear, it's vibrational. Meaning, you can't force your timeline. You attune to it. The more you remember who you are, the more your path lights up ahead of you. Think of your timeline like a song, a divine melody made just for you. When you're out of alignment, it's like static. When you're in alignment, it's like the notes harmonize and the doors open. This is why comparison kills intuition. Your soul didn't come here to copy anyone else's tempo. The sacred timeline knows when you're ready. And sometimes that means pauses. Sometimes initiations. Sometimes a delay that feels like rejection is actually redirecting to a truer path. Here's the secret. Your divine path is encrypted. It hides from ego and fear. It only reveals itself through resonance. So how do you follow it? You listen inward. You follow what feels encoded with expansion and truth. You let your inner compass guide you beyond logic, beyond control, and beyond fear. Because this isn't just a path. It's a return. You're not becoming something. You're remembering what you already are. Your divine timeline is already written in your soul. The question is, will you trust it? Will you allow your path to be different? Will you honor the pauses as sacred? Will you trust the detours as divine? Because when you stop forcing life to happen, you make space for the divine to move through you. Your soul's timeline is a living current. And every moment you choose alignment, you step deeper into the dream your soul came here to fulfill. Have you ever wondered why your emotions feel so strong sometimes? Why sadness hits you in waves? Or joy lifts you beyond your thoughts? That's not just hormones. That's just not trauma. That's technology. Your heart is not a passive organ. It's a quantum field generator. It creates an electromagnetic field that pulses several feet beyond your body. Science has proven it, but mystics have known it for thousands of years. The heart knows before the brain does. When you feel something, really feel it, you're receiving information from the quantum field. This is your inner compass. Your emotional body is your soul's translator, interpreting frequencies that your logical mind can't grasp. So let's get something straight. You were never meant to suppress your feelings. You were meant to decode them. Each emotion is a message. Fear tells you where a belief is distorting your view. Grief shows you where love once lived and where it still does. Anger reveals injustice and the need for boundaries. Joy tells you this is aligned. Now imagine if you navigated life by emotional frequency, not survival logic. You would make radically different choices. you wouldn't stay in the job, the relationship, the place that drains your light, because your heart would be louder than your programming. But here's the catch. Most of humanity has been taught to shut that voice down. We've been conditioned to trust fear more than joy, to follow routine over resonance. This is the great reversal. To truly navigate Earth as a soul, you must begin again from the inside out. You must remember that your emotions are not burdens. They are beacons. Your heart is not a weak. It is your navigation system. Every choice you make is a frequency